Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut, and hopefully you like this video and you like this walk-off win. You know, I done the video yesterday talking about how this Met team had looked, just an overall general look at this team, and they look like a championship team. And I noticed earlier this morning, I guess all the lightweights at WFM were talking about how the Mets look like a championship team. I know they watch, and I know they listen. And hopefully they learn some stuff. But I was saying this, so I was thinking about it the last few days, and I mentioned it last night in my video last night, talking about the win last night. But, I mean, this is what championship teams do. You get contributions from everybody on the roster. I would mention this about Starling Marte. This is the 12th walk-off of his career. So this is a guy that's not afraid to come up in a big spot late in the game. And when he came up in the ninth, then I was thinking, man, this is a great spot for him to have a walk-off. 12 walk-offs. Just think about that in his career. Of all the different teams he's played for. And the third with the Mets. He had one 3 years ago, I believe. One last year. And this year. I think he had one last year. Was it Sunday Night Baseball? Or it was on Fox, on national television. But this is now 7 wins in a row by the Mets. The 12-1 at home, I believe. Yeah, they're 12-1 at home. They won 7 in a row against the Cardinals and the Phillies. And this was a game the Phillies absolutely positively needed. You can't be falling behind 5 games in April. You can't do that. If they won the game today and they had their shot in the 10th inning, they would have been 4 games behind the Mets, 3 games behind the Mets. Now they're 5 games back. You can't fall back any further. And I know the Braves have picked up the play. They're 7.5 behind the Mets. You can't be that far behind in April, okay? Because then you dig yourself such a deep hole you can't get out of it. Unless you start playing around, start stealing signs, there's no way you're gonna be able to dig yourself out of that hole. Well, the Braves could do that though. We've seen them do that. But what was great about this win was contributions from everybody on the roster. The first big contribution when the Mets got in the second inning was a Brett Beatty sign. I couldn't believe it. Hit a 2-run home run, I guess, off of the cutter, off of Zach Wheeler. And Wheeler pitched well. I mean, he's going to pitch great. I mean, I always liked him. He pitched really well in this game. Kept the Phillies in the game. And even after they tied the game, he's still out there. He had all his pitches working after that one at bat against Beatty. But you get contributions throughout the entire roster with the Mets. Francisco Lindor went, let's get this, 7 for 12 in the series. 7 for 12. And he's the guy who scored the run in the 10th inning to tie the game on the RBI double from Pete Alonso. Great at bat by Pete. I mean, he's not striking out as much as he normally does. He's just trying to make contact, just trying to put the ball in play, trying to put the ball up the middle, trying to, drive the ball to right center field. That's what you need him to do. And I think that just sort of looking at it, he's got a chance to break his own record in RBIs for a season. And he has a chance to drive 150 runs. I mean, it sounds crazy right now, but he has that outside shot to do that. He has an outside shot to finish the first half on 100 RBIs, to be honest with you. Quite the performance. I would also mention this. Juan Soto has a good arm. I've heard nothing but bad things. The Yankee fans complained about his defense all offseason. When it looked like he was going to sign with the Mets, they said his defense has been okay, and he's got a good arm. I mean, that throw from in the 8th inning was, was just a very good throw. Even the throw early in the game when he kept the runner right there, it was a good throw. The Phillies have no speed. Now, the Phillies have so much talent. They have such a good pitching staff, such a good starting staff, but they're not very athletic, and their bullpen is terrible. Aside from Alvarado, their bullpen is terrible, terrible. And aside from the pitching staff, and a very unathletic team, by the way. Very unathletic. Because if you had a guy that could actually run with Castellanos in the 8th inning, he would have scored on that throw from Soto, But Soto made the plays, making the plays, he looks okay. The only negative about this game, obviously, was the game on the side here, the post game. The only negative thing was that Edwin Diaz came out of the game in the 10th inning. I don't know if it was a hip or a groin. We'll find out what happened. Obviously, tomorrow's a day off, so hopefully it's not too serious. It didn't look that serious. As long as it's not his arm, it should be all right, but we'll see. Maybe they put him on the injured list. Who knows what it is? But it's probably something to do with his head. Maybe got a hip pointer or something to do with his groin, but we'll see. But that's a very strange thing. The Phillies got screwed obviously in the 10th inning because that was a balk on the third. He didn't call to the dugout in that spot. I thought, well, that was crazy that they allowed that to happen. I mean, but that's what happens, folks. We've seen this many years with the Mets. The Mets always got screwed with calls all the time from umpires. That's a situation where the umpires are giving it to the Mets because they know the Mets have been playing so well. And right now, the Mets had the best record in baseball at 17-6 or 18-7. 11 games over 500. 11 games over 500. 5 games in front of the Phillies. I'll say this again: the Phillies and the Braves better wake up because if they don't start picking up the pace, this division is going to be over very soon. Okay, I've only felt this way 3 other times with the Mets. Was in '86, 2006, and 2015. 2015 was interesting because they had that 11-game winning streak. They won 10 games at home. They had a perfect homestand, but then they struggled offensively in the middle of the season until they made all those trades and they brought up Conforto. But this team is playing on all cylinders. I was thinking about this team today. The only negative that you could probably find is Starling Marte. That Starling Marte is 179, but he gives you professional at bats. I love the guy. I think he's been a very good player, and I liked him. I loved him the first year because he was so important to this team. The only negative that they had coming into today's game was the right-handed part of the DH, but he got a big hit. Mets are really getting every contribution from every part of this lineup, every part of this roster. Go through the pitching just real quickly. David Peterson went 5 1/3 innings, gave 2 runs. Brazoban came in pitching inning. They brought in Danny Young, who probably had his best outing today. He struck out Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. And, of course, they brought in Jose Butto. And it's not Jose Butto anymore. All of a sudden, he's become French. Jose Butto, And he came in the 8th inning. Came in the 8th inning. And, of course, got a strikeout. He's pitched really well out of that spot in the Mets bullpen. And then Edwin Diaz came in the 9th inning, pitched pretty good. And then he struggled in the 10th with the ghost runner scoring. They allowed Bryce Harper to steal third base, which I don't know what that was all about. And then Kranick came in. Kranick wasn't, like they said during the broadcast, it's very difficult for a pitcher to come in cold like that. Extra innings. He pitched a lot of pitches on 2 days ago, I guess on Monday night. But he was able to sort of wiggle out of that. And on the second out, on the 10th inning, Tyrone Taylor threw a ball home that kept Castellanos from coming in. Like I said, the Phillies are not athletic, and they need to sort of. They might have had their shot to win the thing. Or at least this group, they're not very athletic, and I think that really hurt them in this series. And the Mets are very athletic. Lindor is very athletic. Nimmo, Marte, Taylor, extremely athletic. Acuna came in the game later on. He got the single in the 9th inning. And Luis Torrens came in with a single. I thought at the moment when Lindor came up, he was going to get a hit, but then he didn't do that. Again, I would mention, before I forget, is Soto, even though he made an out in the 10th inning, he moved the runner over. So he does a lot of little things aside from just, hit for power and the things you expect him to do. He does a lot of little things, which I'm very happy about. I didn't realize that his game was more than just walking and getting his hits and stuff. He's solid defensively. I don't know how he's going to age there. So far, so good, and his arm is just above average. But he was able to make some really good throws in this game, and obviously him throwing the run around the 8th inning was a big time move and a big time moment in this game. So very good win by the Mets. going on the road to play the Nationals. We'll see how that works out. They're going to have a tough lineup to deal with James Wood in the middle of that lineup. And he's finally, I guess, found his groove as a player. But we'll see where we are. And we'll be back here on Friday talking about the Mets. Probably after the game, we'll see. I'm sure there'll be video tomorrow. I always have videos tomorrow. Tomorrow's an off day. And that's the story. Let me see. Also, we got the Diamondbacks. So the Mets come home. I got the game here. So the Mets go on the road. They play 4 games against the Nationals, the wraparound series. Then they come home and they play a series against the Diamondbacks the following week, which is next week. Then they go back on the road. And it's crazy schedule. And then they go on a road trip to play the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks. So the Mets are playing against some fairly good teams. Going up against the Diamondbacks is another test for the Mets. But they're 18-7. They're the best record right now in baseball. And they're playing like the best team in baseball, to be honest with you. Getting good, strong starting pitching, playing good defense, getting big hits, doing whatever they have to do to win the game. So, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. And I'll see you later.